It is Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Pop Off Politics. This is the segment where KPRC2 investigates, looks out for you, focusing on the decisions elected officials are making when it comes to spending your hard-earned money. And this week, we're doing something a little different as we go into the future with Houston City Council. Something that's not different. My buddy, KPRC2 Investigates, Mario Diaz, is here. He's joining us now like he does every week, every Tuesday. How are we going into the future, sir?
All right, so here's what we're doing. We're going to be looking at an agenda item that is the first of its kind. All right, this is one that is getting placed on the agenda by 3 sitting city council members. Only it's not for this week.
No?
No, for next week.
Okay.
Councilmember Carolyn Evans-Shabazz, Mary Ann Huffman, and Amy Peck. Now, the item that they're all proposing, water bill relief.
Oh, my goodness.
Water bill relief.
I know where this is going.
This comes after months of KPRC2's Amy Davis exposing the problem with her ongoing series, Drained. And the city, and this directly speaks, obviously, to the city's problem that Houstonians are suffering with regards to their water bills.
Yeah.
And they're trying to help secure some relief. But wait, Zach, this one's complicated. I've told you, this is a complicated agenda item. So we're going to bring in the reinforcements this week. We're talking the heaviest of heavy hitters. Here she is.
I feel like I should be running.
Right?
Boxing
I feel like we need some like bells ringing.
Right, I know.
Because the tail of the tape shows that at 5 foot 5,
1.5.
1.5, there is no bigger puncher. No bigger puncher when it comes to asking the toughest questions and truly examining this than Amy Davis.
Well, thank you very much. I don't think that these were tough questions.
No, they're not.
I think we've asked City Council, we've asked Houston Public Works, and most recently we asked the mayor, like, what are you doing about these problems? That was only November 14th when we asked the mayor. You've probably seen the tape. He didn't want to answer those questions. When we asked the mayor, like, what are you doing about these problems? What can you do? And then fast forward like 5 days, these city council members came out and said, well, here's what we're doing. For the first time that they've ever been allowed or able to add an item to the agenda, because this was a change in the city charter, they said, we're going to do it. We're going to put this item on the agenda. It will change the way they can bill you. It's a small step if it happens. It's a small step, but it's the first one that anyone has done or any effort that's been made since we started our investigation more than a year ago. So they put this forward, and then Mayor Turner jumps in like an hour later.
And that's what I'm sorry, go ahead, Zach.
Well, I was just going to ask, within your reporting, within this investigation, since, we've all seen the exchange that you had with the mayor, everywhere we go, that's the question that people want to hear more about. These city council members, what have they said to you about that?
So basically, I had done my interviews with the city council.
I'm laughing because initially, I know what it's going to go. Initially, it's a lot of this. It's like, click.
Or
you leave a message. And
but in some ways, they're compelled to do something because they are.
But in many ways, I think the city council members try to, as much as possible, appear to be a unified front, or that, hey, we're sort of all on the same page.
Not going against the grain of any.
Not going against the grain of the mayor. Whether I don't really think that it was supposed to be designed to be that way. They're supposed to represent the people in their district, and if they're hearing about water bill problems, then they should go out on that. So this was sort of the first time that has happened.
And that's why this is setting precedent, Zach. This document right here, it is setting precedent because, as Amy mentioned here, I mean, usually it's the mayor that sets the agenda item, right? Usually it's the mayor that says, this is going to go on the city council agenda.
But he's not doing anything.
Or they go through a committee hearing.
And that's not the case with this.
And the committee hearings is where they discuss it weeks before it even gets to an agenda item. It sounds like a good idea. Let's put it to the agenda.
Yeah.
And then they put it on but this is sudden. This is sudden. They didn't really put this. Had you heard anybody talk about this in committees?
The city council, but no committees, no committee discussion at all. Okay, so I feel like kind of the part that I left out here is the 3 city council people came forward and put out a news release and said, hey, Amy Peck is joined by Mary Ann Huffman, Carolyn Evans-Shabazz. We think this is a problem. We're going to submit this because we want it to be on the December 6th or on an upcoming city council agenda. And then we reported that. And then less than an hour, it was probably about 45 minutes from reporting that, the mayor's office sends a news release and says, oh, the mayor realizes this is a problem. And over the last few months, the administration, along with Houston Public Works, have been looking at major changes to our ordinances that would affect the water department and billing issues, and we're going to present these items.
We as the mayor's office, the mayor.
Yes, at the city council meeting,
And that kind of speaks to the fact that we've talked to in a lot of city council members with various agenda items, is that the mayor, and this is from people that I've spoken to, I'm sure you've heard the same thing, doesn't like it when others get ahead of him. And this is an example of where you had these 3 city council members using this new approach of being able to introduce something on the agenda item, getting ahead of the mayor's office on something that obviously we know thousands of Houstonians are being impacted, and the mayor's office immediately having to do what is called in politics rapid response, and not being very happy about being basically stepped on with the spotlight here.
I can't name one boss, though, who would not have that same reaction.
Oh my
as far
gosh.
as-
So I responded to the mayor's news release immediately that said, we're looking forward to hearing this on the as early as the December 6th city council meeting.
Right.
And I said, please share any details. I mean, here we are going into a holiday week and you make this big announcement that you've been working on it for months, but you couldn't give us any answers. Not the mayor, not Houston Public Works. Can you give us
on
any
several
answers?
occasions.
And that's the big thing about this, is that it's almost like a Band-Aid. Let's put a Band-Aid on this by just having this announcement, but you don't have the actual foundation that's there. And if you haven't seen Amy's interview by now, I think in the entire world, and I think parts of Austin have seen it, but if you see this interview, you don't get any answers. You don't hear anything about any kind of responses to really addressing it. And that's the great takeaway here. And we've seen this time and time again. And I know you've been dealing with this. We've dealt with this with the EPOs, the emergency purchase orders. Where are these emergencies? And you just don't really get those responses.
Have we asked
easy-
that question? Have we asked that question since this response came out to the mayor's office directly? Like, where was this 2 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 months ago?
Yes,
Or,
Yes.
crickets.
But
They
crickets
didn't
from
respond.
that as well.
They didn't respond. And how easy would it have been for the mayor or for Public Works to any of the 24 emails and open records requests I've sent to them over the last few months to say, you know what, we are working on something. We ask for your patience. You're going to hear about it very soon. I mean, I don't mean to get into the minutia. What's important to people is that they do fix it. So hopefully this isn't just a Band-Aid
Right.
and like go away and let me
A publicity
lost
Band-Aid.
in-
A publicity
Yeah,
Band-Aid.
yeah.
Right. Because that's disappointing when they
publicity
could be
Band-Aid.
working
That's how
on
people
real
look at it.
solutions.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it is. It's very important. It's impacting a lot of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
And it's discouraging to see that this transpire and not the work get done.
Yeah.
The work be
Right.
done.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, I'm going to tell you 2 quick things. What
Yes.
stood out to me this week, there is an agenda portion this week that did stand out. They are having city council. But again, it ties back to this. Ruben Garcia, he signed up to speak this week. He's got a bill of $11,000. I mean, you're seeing this now with people coming in all the time to discuss their water issues at City Hall. And, and that's the big challenge here, that this is not going to go away suddenly overnight. I mean, once Sylvester Turner leaves office, the mayor, that doesn't mean that this problem goes away and it's been resolved.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact of the matter is it's going to have to be dealt by whoever the next mayor
Well,
is.
with that, where do we go from here? What does the future look like in that regard?
Well, I'll tell you one thing, and credit to Amy. We have city officials taking actions now because of this.
Right.
And that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. We have people who were held accountable, and now they're looking for the solutions, which is what we do.
Yeah.
And Amy Peck was elected. She will be on city council. And so she is the one who presented this. She had the support of Mary Ann Huffman, Carolyn Evans Shabazz. They may both be on council. They're both in the runoff in the races on December 9th. So
And that's the part to me that I find interesting in all this, right? Is that it's an 11th hour agenda item in the 11th hour of an election. And it's being put forth by 2 individuals who are running for re-election. I know you've reached out to them. They have provided you some responses in the past. But
well, I will say that what they said before and what they said when we started contacting them all the way back to last November is we don't have the ability to add items to the agenda. We can tell the mayor we think this is important, but unless the mayor buys into it and signs on, up until this last election, he was the only one who could put those items on the agenda.
And like it's always intriguing. You want to see what's going to happen after the election. Do they follow through on this?
Right.
And that's the key. And that's the key thing.
Okay. Well, I know you two will stick at it. Mario Diaz, Amy Davis.
I can already tell you what's going to be the conversation next week on Pop Off Politics, whether or not this agenda actually gets through or not.
Yeah.
And we'll see. They're expecting it to be there next week. And it's really people want this problem addressed. And and the mayor wants to try to get something addressed to it right now. It's all about his legacy right now. And we know that for a fact by what a book that says A Winning Legacy. He's concerned about his legacy. Any person who is leaving office wants to know, how am I going to be remembered?
Yeah.
And here we are in the final month and trying to get something addressed that really.
Trying to close that chapter.
I mean, I will say the problems that we have seen are not something that can be fixed in 1 month,
Right.
one council meeting.
That's the whole point.
By one
Right.
person.
That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Coming back next week?
I don't know. Yet to be determined. I'm going to be at the city council meeting next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think you should come back. You'll have an update by then, and maybe we can entertain you for another conversation.
Yeah.
All right, good work on that.
Any questions, though, for Amy A. Davis at KPRC? Any questions for Mario?
Yep.
He messes this up every week. You got it this week?
MDS at kprc.com.
Okay. Thank you, guys.